What is up, ninjas? My name is Sam World, and as many of you guys know, I've currently been making music, and I got this sick collaboration coming up with Ssol and Niko The Kid. And today we're gonna break down how Ssol created the original draft, send it to me where I added a bit of synth flair, and finally Niko The Kid came in to kill it and add the last final touches that made a big difference on this track.
We originally on the track, we came up with this idea. Primarily it was the vocals that were there with the bass line and kind of like a general flow and arrangement of the track that I sent to Frankie, who I think you added the guitar, right, Frankie?
Yeah, I did guitar and the synths, like the parupa. That's what it's called, but no, we'll
the
check
parupa.
I don't know what that is, bro. Like I just saw it on Splice and it was like, oh, let's run it through through the sampler and the filter, and then whoop, whoop, and I was like, okay, that sounds kind of cool. And
so by the time that we'd done all of that, we had like an arrangement to the track and some like key ideas, which was the guitar and the vocals, and it was a case of basically bringing it up so that it was like hitting hard, the drums were pumping, the bass was good, and that's where we sent it over to Niko. And I think you did work on the drums and the bass line.
Yep.
And tweak the arrangement, did some work on the builds, right? You did quite a lot of stuff on it.
Yeah,
so,
it was like 65 stems, I think, or like
yeah.
70 stems. It was like a full session, like every single piece broken down. After I grouped everything, I just like literally hit play, just listen to it all the way through, like while I'm like sort of looking at stuff, like what, like I'm just like looking at all the different pieces, like what's this doing? Like what's that? What happens if I mute this? I think the very first thing I was like, you know, the original bass line I think had more melody to it. Actually, it followed the chords, and I knew like immediately when I dropped the stems in, I was like, we should try to make the bass line a little bit more and like repetitive. So I recreated that same melody using the sub, and that sounds like this. Like,
yeah, I think you described it to me on the phone as like a Frankenstein bass.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So that was this is the filler bass. And then this was the original like melody of the bass, but with a different synth. And then together.
very unique.
Yeah, it's got the like the front half, it's that da-na, da-na, and then it switches over to the tom.
So you grabbed the bass line. That was the first thing that you felt like the record needed. Once you put that bass line in, I think you changed the kick, right?
So the kick, I just like, I have this folder of I sat I sat for like 3 days. Like I spent 3 whole days just going through samples. I didn't make any songs. So I'd have this folder of different drums, and like 9 times out of 10, I'll just reach for like this right here. Like I'll come in here, I have like dirty, which is like good for those like filler kicks, you know, or like layering, 909, 808 based kicks, you know. So these are all just like, you know, Wave Alchemy, just random like the Noizu pack. I mean, all the same shit everyone has, you know. Yeah, so like with the drums, like the first thing for me was just getting like the groove tight. So I spent probably more time on just the groove, like the main drop area with the drums, than probably anything else. So like literally this part.
It was time well spent, my friend.
I think the main how do you say, objection of the label as well was like the drums need to be amped up a lot more.
Yeah,
so
right. Most of the drums, like I think see, look, like most of the things I added are like I didn't really take away too much. So like, you know, still got the original crash, another drum loop on top of some of these little reverse hats, open hat on to give it that like cuts, you know,
accentuation.
just little guys, you know, nothing crazy. the main hat that you hear, that was from the original Sem. The little tickers are in there. Yeah, so then
sweet.
These are just different different bongo loops chopped up, EQ'd so that certain ones come out, you know, like there's a little cut here, some of them nothing on there, and then all going through a group with just standard Ableton, you know, compressor, EQ. Sometimes I'll reach for this guy if I'm doing weird stuff like left right stereo EQ, like you'll just do a dramatic bump on the left and then move it up somewhere, do a dramatic bump on the right, and it spreads out your sound. Yeah. Yeah, I just thought like that would give it some like hype when that vocal came in, because she starts going crazy, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt like the drums need to, you know, kind
Did you like it sort of sounds like it's rhythmically similar to the vocal. Is that?
Yeah, I think so. I'll do that sometimes. Like I'll always try to copy like let's say the vocal is doing like a pattern, even if it's like, you know, it doesn't have to be super exact, but just a general rhythm of whatever's like the main element of the song. I'll always try to copy that. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Okay, one of the things that was really exciting to hear was you added a layer to the guitar, right? Or did you change the guitar, or did you add a layer to it?
No, so I didn't change the guitar. So this is the first guitar you hear when it comes in. And this is literally the same way, because I printed the filter, like whatever you had on there, like that was just already in there printed. Didn't even EQ it. It was literally perfect. Like when I dropped an EQ on it, it was perfect. Like I didn't have to touch it. So
there you go.
Oh, never mind. Wait, hold on. Scratch all.
Oh shit.
I'm a liar. Oh. I'm a fucking liar.
Just like the most processed thing.
Yeah.
All right, rewind.
Wait, before we get into it though, I have a couple questions, because I know you or it looks like you added a layer to it, and then the other thing was that I remember the very first demo you sent back to us with what you were doing, there was like other things as well going on. I think there was like maybe some horns playing around it, or maybe I saw it on your story when you were.
Dude, so I tried so hard to get horns working on this. Like I'm a big I like making things that sound horny, like old samples and real horny. But yeah, I think the only thing I ended up keeping out of all of that was this little hit, like with a bunch of dub delay on it, which is just Ableton Echo. And that comes in on the break. So like.
Oh yeah.
And then it reverses into the next drop. That was literally the only bit of the horns that I kept. Something about like Spanish music is about the harmony, like especially the third. Like, and when you're doing these weird scales where it's, I mean, I'm by no means like Berkeley level music, music theory dude. But like, I kind of, I get like how things work sometimes, So I was like thinking like, what would make this feel more Latin? And I'm like, oh, like a harmony on it. So like soloed the guitar. So then I came up with this harmony to it, which is sort of, it's like a mix between like a counter melody and a harmony. And then it feels extra Spanish.
Yeah, nailed that, dude.
Yeah, flamenco energy. And that I just I figured just like clean guitar, like lightly process. So I just use Contact using the Shreddage 3, which is like meant for, what, like they have like, it's like meant for like metal or something,
So when you, because that's the sort of thing that I think people see as like kind of like magic, just how you made it harmonize with the original sample. Are you one of those people that can just sort of sit down at a piano and play that out, or did you?
Yeah, I'm more of like
what was the? How did?
So
did you reference something?
I started using Fruity Loops Like I was always, I'm on PC right now, so like I've been Fruity Loops like since I started when I was like 15. So I'm a MIDI draw guy. Like my instrument is the piano roll, like that. So I'll sit there and just I guess I'll just hear it and then plug the notes in with with this little guy on, so you can kind of tell what you're doing. And that's it.
And is that in your is that are you following some sort of scale when you're doing that, or
I'm just going by what I hear, I just what I did was I looped it up.
Someone wants to know how to do that. Niko's ears are better than yours.
Yeah. Basically what like loop it up. Yeah, and then I took that original guitar you sent me with sounded like this with no effects. So all I did was just, simple EQ. I love this, the Renaissance Axe for guitars, because it's just an extreme compressor. Like it just batters your shit. Like, so, well, because guitars are like high gain, high dynamic instruments, So like if you're doing especially DI, like which is definitely what that guitar is, just line in clean guitar, just batter it with a compressor and it always sounds better. Like, don't even look at the gain reduction. Just crush it. And then this guy it always loads with the biggest size. But yeah, now this guy, the Neural DSP, this is the best purchase you'll ever make, honestly. The Corey Wong, it's just like the best clean amp ever. And when you run it through this, it just gives it like this brightness that, I don't know, it just sounds so good. It has like a click to it. I don't know. It's just the texture of it. I love this thing. I learned this from Kenny Beats on his stream. I was like, what is that? The Pultec? Yeah, this is free. So it's literally go on Bedroom Producers, whatever, BPB. And it's totally free. It sounds awesome. Yeah, and then the rest is just regular, compressor, a little bit more limiter just to flatten it. So it's just like this brick. And then the Redux to give it a little bit more highs. Also makes it sound more, just like electronic. EDM. And then this bad boy, which is also free, wider. I'm sure you know about that one. And then this, the best spring reverb ever made. Audio Things Springs. Like, listen to that. It's so
man.
Good.
I mean, you come from like hip hop and like doing like, like you said. I've never used a spring reverb. I see them, but I've never used one.
Dude, I love it. I just love the sound of it. Like for making sample-y stuff, like making it sound like a sample, right? Like that was kind of the goal, like with that, like all kinds of shit I'm doing too. It's like make it sound old. I don't know. Like, how did they make their reverbs back then? They used plate and spring.
Yeah, plate and spring, bro.
Like back in, anytime before the 80s, it was all plate, spring. Like I'll just automate. I'll make like little racks of like different effects and then just automate the
You're doing it in a way, right, where you don't lose the original signal, I'm assuming?
Yeah, no, I'm doing it where when it's at 0, it's totally dry. And this is the effects channel is muted. And then once it hits 1, it turns on, it switches.
Sick. Niko smile. Let's make the plugin.
That's it. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I actually ended up saving a bunch of these. So I have all of these. Like,
to be fair, I thought that fucking Mortal Kombat thing wasn't gonna make the cut, bro. So I was like, can't believe Ssol liked it, and I can't believe you liked it, Niko. I was like, what? He left that in?
Bro, I loved it.
Yeah.
The more it's like fucking.
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat, bro.
Mortal Kombat.
No, we were on the phone saying how much we liked that specific sound. It's just a square wave, right? The Mortal Kombat thing. I thought it sounded so good.
Dude, I thought it was like some analog thing. I was like, what is that? Like, dude, what did you make that sound with? Like,
I think it was it Serum?
It was Serum Square Up. It's a Serum Square Wave with a filter. Yeah. That's like it, I think.
Yeah, this guy right here.
Oh no, that's just square. But I meant the fucking break, dude. It's like
Oh, the riser. Oh yeah, the custom build.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, that
Dude, I
shit.
love it.
That was with your Moog, right? Or your Moog?
Yeah, it's with the Matrix. I've been trying to use it on
Yeah.
records more, but it definitely has that sound. Like,
Dude,
It's
I
got a
love
great tone.
No,
You
let's
need
take a
something else?
moment to appreciate this. Like, come on.
yeah, dude.
Listen to
Yo,
that.
okay, so you didn't think it needed to be changed, like?
Absolutely not. No.
Oh fuck.
Dude, this is it.
So out of theme, that's what
Anything
I
that's
felt.
like, dude, I grew up on like Chemical Brothers, like literally, but like
Wow.
nonstop. And anything with weird, like those sequencer sounds, I'm in. Like, say less. If it's Acid 303 sequencer synth sounds, just simple like that, I'm in. Like, that's always making the cut.
It's good to hear. I thought it was just so out of theme, but it's good to hear it made the cut. So I was like,
It's cool because it kind of like, I mean, you know, it's like high energy, like tech house vibes. Like, so that
Yeah,
to me
dude.
is just like a good, like, all right, let's step away from guitar for a second and like get
It's
it. I
good.
mean, dude, when I play this out, it goes fucking bonkers. So especially
Yeah.
this part.
wow.
Yeah.
It's good to see. And you added that drop surprise, right? It was that. You got that synth that comes in.
Oh
on the
yeah,
drop.
yeah. So the yeah, I'll find that real quick. So I made my own sample pack. And I made this little folder called Sirens, and it's just like all the tropes like of like, you know, all the siren sounds. But like I try to make them a little bit more, I don't know, just like analog, you know. And that's one of these, so 16, like, or no, 18, sorry, I'm blind. And that end of it, you know, because everything's on those 16ths, you know.
Yeah, that's good. And the vocal response.
That was a label comment, right? To add the like
add this, the second bit. So like I had it where it was literally this, like that's how I had it. And now I'm like, I miss it, you know? So like he nailed it. Basically the A&R was like, he sent me a voice note, Art in Holland. He'd send me a WhatsApp voice note and he was like, hey, can you take that sound? Can you just do it like this? That's literally, that was the whole voice note. I was like, got you.
A&R is a producer as well, or is just, well, he has to have good fucking ears, right?
I guess so. Yeah. I don't know, actually. I'm sure he probably, like, I feel like most A&Rs were producers.
Yeah.
At one point, you know.
There was a little tweak to the arrangement, right? Or did you leave the arrangement as is, Niko? Or was there any changes?
No, I changed this the midsection, like this, like break. Yeah, like I changed like the break area, and I think I cut it 8 bars shorter. Like, yeah, I think with this one, it was like the way you had it was this part had like drums underneath it filtered. So I just went full break and then just got right back out of it instead of like leaving it going for 8 bars. That way, you know, keep the energy higher. Kind of works better live.
And then the bridge is still there, huh? Like the groove is the bridge, I think.
Yeah.
The break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still.
Yeah, I love this part.
It's the magic part. So catchy.
Yeah, like I'll usually set little markers too. So I just did like drop and then like B section being like the part, you know, that's when the vocal comes in. And then I know to like, okay, let's like add more stuff, you know? So like the bongos came in, whatever, what was that? The guitar, little reverse reverbs on the guitar, just like smaller stuff.
I guess just as relevant to a collab as it is for doing an original track, but where do you say this is good now? I'm happy with how this is sounding.
It's a good question.
I guess it's just a feeling. I mean, when do you know? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but this isn't my interview. This is your interview. So you tell me.
I'll give you mine. You hear the song, you're bobbing the head. The moment the head bob stops, you know something's wrong. Like
There
something
you go.
bothers. Yeah.
Yeah,
something like that.
it's like a feeling. Like you just know it. Like, yeah, like I guess for me, it's like I just sit there and keep reworking it until I'm like, you sit back and you're like,
Okay.
I don't think I can do anything else. Like, I don't think there's anything else I can do to make it better. Like, I've done my thing.
Are you ever unhappy with stuff in it and you're just like, fuck it,
All the time.
Okay.
I'm always, all the time. Deleting shit. Like, yeah, all the time. Like, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in here. I can show you.
Yes.
Like, it could have left it. Yeah, little squeaks. Yeah, I mean, the rest of it was stuff that you gave me. I made like one effect thing, a little riser. It's just like a band passy kind of like high pass filter. Like swell in silent. So it's like really simple shit. And then just layered that with the noise for the riser. It's like barely audible, but that stuff works really well. Like, my favorite thing is to do like a toilet reverb. Like, that's like my shit, is like, no pun intended. Like adding like either a delay or a really short reverb. I'll usually do it with just the Ableton delay. And just making the feedback really short, and then taking your time and just doing like 20 milliseconds. Or you can do it with the chorus on ensemble mode, like or doubler on the phaser flanger plugin.
Yeah.
Like I'll do that and layer that with the original vocal.
I know anyone who dance like you, yeah. Bum bada bum bada boom. Bum bada bum bada bum. What you wanna see, how you wanna dance it. I don't know anyone who dance like you.
Just kind of makes it more stereo.
Sounds good.
And then I did it again with the waves doubler, just on fully, no dry channel. I'll literally load up the doubler and just leave the default preset on and just take off the direct. And then you just have stuff on the sides. Song's dropping September 30th on Myth of Nyx, so go check that out. Absolutely, this shit definitely crushes live. So,
but yeah, it was a pleasure to work on this track with you, Ssol. Like I said, I love the initial idea and it was great. Vocals, guitar worked well, and then Niko fucking killed it. Harmonized the new bass line, made it more modern too. I feel like, right? It's like playable. It's that new like Latinx with the knock basses and stuff, the toms. So it was sick. But yeah, guys, make sure to check it out. It will be out on Myth of Nyx September 30th. Maybe by the time this video is out. Hit a like, follow them on Spotify, Instagram. Put all the links in the description down below. And hopefully you got something out of this video. When it comes to collabs, work together, not against. And most of all, have fun. With that being said, you guys take care and you guys have a great rest of your day.